Hello, dear ones. It's Maria with you again. Today is February 6th, 2022. And as I promised, I'm going to talk to you about how to handle difficult relationships. And I will explain my understanding why those challenging relationships come to our life, and also why the last 2 years some of the people that we used to get along, suddenly the relationship started going wrong. And some people that we had a bad relationship suddenly started getting worse. So that's what we're going to talk about. The first thing is why we had such a challenging relationships come into our life sometimes. For example, when you have a family that everything get along, and then you have that person that challenges everybody. They used to call like the black sheep. Why is that? Or sometimes you marry that husband that is a very dominating person that's really always trigger you, and why you got that relationship, why you attract that. Well, some of the relationships is more like attracting. You attract what you vibrate on, but many of those relationships, especially when it's family or husband, they most of them they are contracts that you do even before when you are planning your incarnation here. I know if you don't believe in reincarnation, I already lost you. But if you are still curious, just hold on a little bit more. So, for example, sometimes it's karma, but not all contracts are based in karma. Some is just based on love. For example, you have you have many lifetimes, and let's say that in one time you I'm gonna tell an example of a person that I learned from one of Dolores Cannon's book. That person, he was a gladiator. He killed many people until one day that he just got tired of it, and he just decided not to let the other person kill him. So, and then he died. And then he spent many lifetimes repaying that karma, because every person that the killing was affected, he has to pay karma. And the last one was his father. He came as his father. He had a really bad relationship with his father. His father really mistreated him. His father didn't have to kill him. It's not always like eye to eye. But they made an agreement that he would come as his father, and then he would mistreat him, and then with that he would repay the karma. And at that moment, when he was having the session, he already had forgiven his father, so he was free of all that karma. But sometimes it's just the person, when you are planning the life, the person just do out of love. Okay, I will go, and then I will be your, let's say, what the person wants to learn. The person that has a very dominating husband, the person wants to learn how to stand out for herself. That's what she needs to learn. And then there is another person. Okay, so I go. I used to be a very dominated person too, and I need to learn how to allow other people to do. So I go, and then we met. I become your husband, and then I will mistreat you, and then you stand up, and then we both learn the lesson. So sometimes it's like that. Sometimes the person that did something bad to you in a previous life, it becomes your son, and then just by that bond you already have the unconditional love, so those karmas are easier to get repaid. Because usually in family, even though you hate, you sometimes you don't even know why you hate, but at the same time you have that unconditional love. So that's one of the reasons why you attract difficult relationships. Many are based on karma or contracts pre-birth. So, but Maria, what I do to why the past 2 years so many relationships are broken up. I showed this in a previous video. That means that this is a picture, not a picture, a drawing from the Milky Way galaxy. And then we have our Earth and the Sun, that the Earth goes around the Sun and takes 365 days and a few hours. And the Sun goes around Alcyone, and the full cycle takes about 26,000 years. And most of the stars and planets on the Milky Way galaxy spins horizontally. But there is some exceptions, and one of them is the photon belt that spins vertically around Alcyone. And Alcyone is one of the 7 Pleiades stars. So our sun goes around Alcyone, takes 26,000 years, and cross this belt twice. On the speed that the Earth cross this belt, it take 2,000 years. So if you need to stop the video, there we go. So what is happening is this belt is belt of light, and the vibration is really high. It's compatible only with vibrations of 500 and up. So everything that so try to cross this belt, to be able to cross the belt, it needs to be vibrating at least a 500. So our Earth is about to cross that belt. We already in the process, we already can feel some of the light. But in about 10 years, we'll be complete inside this belt. So what happened is many people that has some hidden traumas, some hidden emotions in their subconscious, they are given the opportunity to work those emotions are come to the surface, to the conscious mind, so they can have the opportunity to work those emotions through. And then when Earth is on the inside the photon belt, they're vibrating only love. There will be no shadows in their heart and soul and mind. So sometimes you have a relationship that, let's say, a person is married and for the outside it looks like everything looks perfect. They have a good relationship. They hardly fight, but one of the person are not able really to be themselves. They want to do something else, but they think the other person won't understand, and they are not able to do themselves. And then they just say, okay, let's just keep going. I don't really have any reason to break up, so just keep going. But right now, it's really time to be the best we can be. If there is something, if there is a relationship that's holding us from be what we're supposed to be, and then they will not be compatible, they will not be in alignment with our purpose right now. That's look inside and really find out who we truly are. Sometimes other thing is many people, they were so busy working and studying and doing so many things outside, and even though they didn't really had a good relationship with the people inside the same house, it was easy just to pass by because they didn't really had to interact much. And then the pandemic came, the lockdown came. So they could not avoid anymore. They have to bump against. They have to find out the difference and to really solve the problem that was hidden, that was under the carpet. So this is an opportunity for all of us to work in ourselves, to really clean up the Satan and clean up everything that's hidden in our subconscious. And sometimes even things that we just bring on from many lifetimes. It's okay, Maria, but that's really, really hard. I don't know what to do, what I can do it now. Well, the first thing is when you have a hard relationship, you always think that you are the innocent one. You do everything you can do. The other person is the one that's not doing their part. But if you are feeling bad, it's because there is something that you are looking away, that your higher self is looking at the same thing in a different way. So there is a lesson for you there. If you are the one feeling bad, there is a lesson for you there. So one thing that you can do to really get clarity, try to get peace with yourself first. Because when you do that, your vibration rises and you start to see things with more clarity. And then I think it's worth to look at the key to stop suffering, my video that I made is the number 12. You do a gratitude exercise, you do your meditation, you eat well, and then you empower yourself. Second is, but I want to understand why that person is acting this way and why she even come to my life that way. So in your prayers, you say, Dear Jesus, clear my perception about that person so I may see the truth. Clear my perception about that person so I may see the truth. That is one thing that you can do. Another thing is, instead of be repeating your mind all the time, that person should not do that, should not be this way, be that and that and that, without ruminating in your mind all the time, because the solution will not come from there, right? Trust me, because that you are vibrating in the problem when you are in the ego mind, just point and judging. So you need to get out of there. What you can do is forgive, even though you're not even sure why you are forgiving or it's not really true. Just say, say the name of the person, John, I forgive you, I release you to the Holy Spirit. I explained more about her. I made a video about forgiveness and judgment. As I forgive you, I release you to the Holy Spirit. And you're gonna see that the person will be more friendly with you, or you're not gonna feel the resentment as hard as you were feeling before, because you rose your vibration. You rose your vibration for When you are in judgment, judgment is usually something around here. You have a guilt, or you decided on a thing, or you have pain or shame. It's over here, or anger. When you stop a judge and you forgive, and then you go up in the scale. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing is, instead of being ruminating your mind all the time, why that person did that, why the person is this way. I made I find out a chant, a peaceful chant that I think is really loving. What I do when I have somebody that I wanted to do some forgiveness practice, I just put the intention that I'm singing to that person or to that situation or to yourself if you need to forgive yourself. And it goes like that. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Thank you, I love you. You can sing out loud if you can, or sing just in your mind and envision that person as in a loving way. That person will gonna feel that vibration, and that also will rise your vibration. Another thing that I learned that it can help is about energy. Everything is about vibration, and the vibration is created by our thoughts and intentions and emotions. Our intention, thoughts have an emotion, creates an emotion in us, and our emotions creates a vibration. And it depends how higher or lower it's going to, it's following one of those frequencies. So you do like that. You imagine the person in one side and you in the other side, and then imagine there is one sparkle of white light coming out from the heart of the person, and it's getting big and big and big until you don't see the person's body anymore. You see only the white light, and then you look at yourself and the same thing happened. That white light sparkle and getting bigger, 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 and then it's cover completely your body. And then you do 3 steps in the back, and then you look it again, and you see that you and that person join in one light. You guys are united in one light. You can do that when you know that, for example, you are a mother and you know that 2 of your kids are not get along. That's just one example, but you can do to other people. You imagine them in the light, that light coming out of your heart, in their hearts, and then the light join together. That's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is you pray to your guide to get together with the person's guide and give them a little push towards a sort of understanding, for example. But you need to keep in mind that Jesus, the guides, the guardian angel, your higher self, they love everybody unconditionally. If you are mad with somebody that did something to you, do not expect your higher self to be mad with that person, because they are not. They know why that person did. They know that person has a free will, so they are allowed to express them. So they are not mad with that person. So you cannot ask to the guide or yourself to help with that person if your intention is something that will not be good for that person. It needs to be a win-win game. I hope you understand the idea. So what else you can do? Oh, another thing that it's in the book of Abraham Hicks, I don't have here with me, Ask and It's Given. They say like that. Okay, you had a bad relationship with somebody. Sometimes it's even a husband. Sometimes it's easier to divorce the husband. Sometimes it's something that not all relationships are meant to be forever. And sometimes you're gonna feel it's time to let it go. But if it's a son, you won't get peace until you get in peace with your son. That's the real truth. If it's a son, if it's a brother or sister, it's a family member, you can let them go for some time, but you always have that. I wish that to be different. You always gonna have that. So there are some exercise that you can do about. For example, you can get a paper and pen, and then you write the positive aspects of that person. Every day you do that. Because every day you're gonna do that, you're gonna find out more. And you are putting that vibration when you're gonna connect with that person in your thought, you are connecting in a loving way. And they're gonna feel, because we are all connected. They're gonna feel. So that's one way to improve. Another way is, it would be good if they also do what you are doing, but of course, keep in mind that you need to allow people to be what they are, to do what they want to do. But you also need to set boundaries and say, okay, you can do whatever you want to do with your life, but it's regarded to me, when affect me. There are some things that should be worked out. I don't go that way. You put the boundaries in a loving and respectful way, but it's important to have boundaries and make sure that person understand that yes, they do have the right to apply their free will in what's regarded to them, but they cannot force things over you. So at the moment that you allow them, you make sure that you have your boundaries and don't let yourself be dragged around by other people. So I think that's all for today. I hope that's helped. I'm really trying to apply all those things that I talked about today with other people, for people in my life. Some I can see the results, and some the results comes really fast. It's kind of impressive. And try it out. I have nothing to lose. Okay, much love and light to you, and see you next video. Just push your like button and subscribe and share if you haven't done yet. Oops.